Alright, good morning everyone. We've got a few birthdays, so Albanese turns 40 Friday the 29th. 40, mate. Reese turns 33 Saturday the 30th. Some anniversaries, so Corey is 4 years on Saturday the 23rd of April, and Ace is 2 years on the 27th.
Well done, mate.
So well done those lads. Toolbox switching summary.
Yo.
There he is.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, we had a pretty quiet week last week, which is good. So I just got a equipment standards bulletin that I wanted to share because it is a piece of switching equipment. So there was a previous bulletin brought out regarding the keepers of the live line clamps. They reckon that there's still some in circulation. So basically, it says there was a previous instance of broken keepers in late 2021, and there's a reference to bulletin 254. The stock was culled for corrective actions, and however there is still some possibly affected live line clamps in circulation, and so there's some little dot points here to show that there will be cracks, pores and cold shocks on the live line clamps. So just go over your trucks and have a look at those whenever you want any of those failing out in the field. There was also a bit of a chat just before we went on Easter break regarding the limitations on extendable sticks and how you can use them. So I've done a quick printout. I haven't done enough for each individual person, just enough to share around a little bit. So just have a look at that, keep it on your truck if you need. It just shows the limitations on a tested extendable stick, what you can and cannot do with them. And if there's any doubt with the limitations of the device, just don't do it. If there's any doubt that it's not going to operate properly, just don't bother. I wanted to share the switching spotlight that I've got as well. So it was just a how proactive is too proactive. So as a company, we encourage proactiveness, but the question is how proactive is too proactive. So in a lot of recent events, we are encouraging our switching operators and checkers to stop, think, check and ask before they consider working outside their scope of work, or if there is something funny within the scope of works. So you must be careful when you're working outside the scope of your works. What consequences of working without the right information, maps, approval or a detailed briefing. You could be creating an uncomfortable and potentially dangerous situation for yourself and your team, as well as the community. So things to consider, obviously stop, think, check and ask. Could this decision affect life support customers? Is it safe to commence? Have you sought or do you need approval to switch or work on the HV or LV network involved? And a simple call to the right person could stop a potential incident or worse, an injury. So I'm guessing that's for a previous incident that happened quite recently with somebody out in the field with taking off a life support customer. And I think we had one similar to, there was a job that we had to do where we had to move some lugs around on the plate and potentially take some customers off. So we chased that up with Albanese. We knocked on all the customers affected, and Sean and Ben patiently waited while and helped us look at all the customers affected, and we door knocked everyone and double checked everyone, and they let us go ahead with doing some work and taking those customers off. So it was just simple things like that. If you're not sure, just chase it up and we'll make all the necessary calls and appropriate steps needed before something bad can happen. So that's all I got.
Thanks, Seth.
No worries.
We've got some near misses, so I'm looking for some suggestions on how to prevent these as we go through. So the first one, I might skip one actually. So first one, the truck air brakes. This one's pretty concerning. So travelling back from Bauhanna to Ferryden Park, the air brake failed. So the only suggestion I've had on that, submitted by Bruce, was driving back from Hills, come down freeway, exhaust brakes could not work, so it wasn't much of a suggestion, but Cam sent something out about pre-start checks. I don't believe the pre-start checks were done September on that one.
No, I'm not sure if that would be on
That one. But
That was a single connector.
was it?
That was broken.
So any suggestions on to prevent that?
Was it a visual break or
Maybe there's nothing we could have done. So all I had was pre-start checks, but that probably wouldn't have solved it, so I'm not sure what we could actually do to prevent that.
The only thing I'd suggest is before you go into a steep decline, make sure you give your exhaust brakes a check. Bruce did the right thing, had the truck in a very low gear. You have to use your brakes more than you normally like to, but not enough to risk them overhead or anything like that. So don't rely on your exhaust brakes, I guess would be another suggestion. Always make sure you use low gear.
What was that? Got a repeater?
Sorry, to actually stop your truck the moment you figure out your exhaust brake's not working, just stop the truck immediately. Otherwise, using your foot brake, you're going to lose your brakes.
Pull up.
If safe to do so.
Anyway, next one. Again, Bruce, so steel bins placed in tipper full of sand. Bins were tied down with no rubber under the legs, steel on steel. Bins were lifted, a rubber mat placed under before leaving yards. That was spotted and rectified. So that was good pick up by Bruce. Again, check all your loads before you drive out. Chain of responsibility. Everyone here is responsible. So just look after each other. The next one, loose connection. So while terminating a road crossing into a pole top junction box, it was discovered that the previously terminated connection in the box was still loose. So Nick Barrett's put a suggestion to check all connections before leaving worksite. Again, I think that sort of covers it. Check everything before you leave. Check it twice, especially with apprentices. Double check that everything's done correctly.
I think we done something like that a while back as well, even stuff that we haven't worked on, if we've changed the cross arms, the potential for us to dislodge cables out of junction boxes as well, so.
Especially out near the beach, some stuff just sits there and it stays oxidized. It stays connected but oxidized, and the moment you touch it, it just falls apart inside.
Yeah, me and Des had a job
Yeah.
where we lost, no, it wasn't the neutral, we lost an active. Purely, we didn't even open the junction
Yeah.
box, it was just moving the cables, the conductor corroded and
Yeah.
just broke away inside the box. So it doesn't hurt, just if you've worked on something and there is a junction box there or some sort of connections, it wouldn't hurt. Just open them up, have a look.
Thanks, mate. The next one from Reese, a broken ladder. While reversing a ute in the trailer, a ladder was crushed. The driver was looking the opposite mirror to the person directing. Sort of suggestions you got to prevent that from happening again. Look at the person directing.
Where was the ladder, Bruce? Where was the ladder?
Just in between that yellow, well, where the pole trailer is, in between the pole trailer and the yellow barrier there.
I think that one was probably almost too many people spotting back.
Yeah, right.
So there was confusion with the driver, I think, as to who was spotting, and then the driver was looking at the wrong person at the wrong time.
Yep.
So
No, I guess
maybe if you are reversing someone back, make it clear to the driver who is the person observing them back.
Yep.
yeah,
Clear it through.
yeah.
Yep.
Another suggestion I'll throw out there is if you're reversing back, make sure your windows are down, radio's off, air conditioner's off. I don't know if it was the case in this situation, but then it wouldn't matter who was reversing you, I'm sure they're going to yell stop as well.
The next one, poor lifting technique, shoulder injury. So I was lifting large tool case in a van using one arm rather than two arms, and the correct lifting technique. Got a slight pain in the front shoulder. Didn't think much of it at first, but over a couple of days it's become quite aggravated, and now I was unable to lift right arm without significant pain in the shoulder. So the suggestion on that is don't get complacent, always use safe lifting techniques. I think that covers that off. If something's too heavy, again, ask for help. There's plenty of us always around.
Unpack it a little bit.
Unpack it, yeah. So that suggestion sort of covers it. Unpack, unpack.
And just on that, that's not the only one. There's been probably 5 or 6 reports that have come in. That was a couple of days late, where others are a week to 2 weeks late. So when something happens, report it straight away. It becomes super important when someone's actually hurt themselves because obviously workplace injury rules and stuff like that, it could be denied if we wanted to. So especially if you hurt yourself, but any incident or near miss or hazard that happens, report it straight away. It's not hard to do, saves people chasing up.
The next one, so hydraulic hose leak. So stressed hydraulic hose coupling broke, causing slow oil leakage. So the suggestion is what was completed though, but turned off PTO, moved truck off road and cleaned minimum oil leak with spill kit. Again, I don't think the pre-start check would probably pick up on a stressed hydraulic hose. wear and tear is going to happen on these trucks. They're on the road every day, so just keep an eye out for that sort of stuff. It does happen.
Just check your spill kits as well, and you know if you have a spill and you use it, mate, just make sure you get it replenished. Just go to the Stuttgart Greenie, and so you've always got it on your truck.
Another one, squash shovel. So while packing up the crane, the shovel had become crushed as the legs were stowed. So there's no suggestion now. I'm not sure much about that one. Is that a problem with the crane that we need to look at?
No, I remember that. That was just, is that the one you
Just don't leave stuff up.
Yeah.
I was just
in that situation.
I think it's based that on everything, trucks and our bucket trucks, anything that can change its height, there's potential there for something to get pinched or.
Don't let anything up against trucks. Good reporting. It's good to have these conversations so everyone's aware. I didn't know about that one. Again, if I didn't read this out, then I wouldn't have known. And that could have happened to somebody else, along with a lot of the other ones.
Just we finished with the book just before we move on.
Yeah, no.
That ladder, someone found broken, come and see me, and I had to walk around and ask. As soon as I found the right person, they were on it straight away. No one's going to get in trouble. There was an explanation behind it. But if we don't know, we can't fix things. Someone might have taken that ladder out, not even known it was broken, and climbed up it and broken, because we put the tag on it afterwards. So if something gets broken, just come and tell us, so we can fix it. So we've got it for the next job, and more importantly, make sure no one uses a broken tool or piece of equipment and ends up hurting themselves because it's damaged nowhere, because it's not that obvious.
So usually we, you know, if you got damage to a ladder, we tag it out straight away and we put it up the top there, right out the way, so no one can grab them. There's a couple up there that need fixing or replacing, so that's where they go.
That was the Bailey's ladder, that's not
Oh, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. We still get the ladders out of the way.
overall, I agree with Justin's excellent reporting. Mark must stop his chair when he comes back to holiday, so keep it up. Try and get it on.
It's what you were reporting on when you're on holidays. It was magnificent.
See that first one, should we check the one where we couldn't see the single connection? Can we check with Fleet about what they actually do when they service? Like is there, do they do a run over and the other one too, where, you know, you might not have seen it?
That one hasn't been serviced for 6 months and went last week, so yes, I can check that.
Yeah, just check that they're not just changing the oil and kicking the tyres. I know they probably do more than that, but some of that wear and tear stuff, as the trucks get older, some mechanic might pick it up.
Some general depots. So we've got a welcome to Dean Connery. He started with us as a 3A. Dean will be in and out of training until late May, where he'll have all of his tickets. Dean will be utilised as a third man and a crane operator in the meantime. I think a lot of people have met Dean, know Dean, so get around him when you see him. And Warwick Loader, who commences with us on Thursday, 28th of April. Warwick will transition into a storeman role, while Greenie will transition to a field-based GSW crane operator role. If he passes his courses. If not, then probably sack him. Fundraising walk in Evan's memory. So Cam sent out an email. We talked about this at the previous safety meeting, I believe. So fundraising walk in Evan's memory. Our postponed fundraising walk in Evan's memory will take place on Saturday, the 14th of May. 7:30 a.m. gathering, 7:45 start from Sumner Park. Details to be finalised and shared. Hoping our 15k walk will raise additional funds for the Cancer Council. Let Julia Cox know. So far we've raised 405 in donations and 1,985, which was dollar matched by the Employee Foundation from the raffle we did last year. There's a link in there. We can send that out if you guys want to donate more. Again, let Cox and Julie know if you're walking. It'd be good to get plenty of people on that.
And families and kids. I think Maxine and Co are organising a fair bit with Julia, and so there'll be I think 3